ball knocked loose. White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor. They try to
Save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Wayne Spooney here, First to the Floor podcast. I am joined by a Jake Eisenberg that is deep in enemy territory, doing scouting for the second round. New York Jake, how's it going, buddy?
We're going well. Good to see you. Yeah, when I made the journey from Boston, I had my 2024 championship T-shirt on, and then I didn't think about it. And I was walking through the streets. I just walked from Penn Station to where my sister's apartment is in East Village. And like on the way, there was, she was horrified that I did that walk. She was like, Jake, you're not from here. You can't do this. And I was like, but like on the walk, I was like, oh, I kind of wish I wasn't wearing the Celtics t-shirt right now. If I'm being like honest, I don't really want to deal with random people yelling at me right now, but no one did. I was prepared to hit back with some, I think the Knicks could beat us, all that stuff, but we're in enemy territory indeed. And I don't know how you guys watch all these basketball games on the East Coast, because finishing Warriors Clippers at like 1:15 in the morning, I'm like, Al Horford, what is going on? Is this a fever dream? I don't know.
Am I actually asleep right now? What's happening? Yeah. The long story is, if you have kids, you don't watch those games. Unfortunately, you try to catch highlights or when those teams are on the East Coast. But man, the only city I've ever had a problem in wearing Celtics gear is Philadelphia, and I hate that city. Last time I was there, I got hit with an egg. Someone threw an egg at me, which is the perfect segue in that it's Philly again. So, I was hoping for the Magic, especially watching some of that game. That fourth quarter, they just basically gave up. Jalen Suggs is throwing his hands up every possession. So once we knew it was Philly, what was your initial impression?
Yeah, so I was again, shout out my sister, made a point to find us a sports bar. It's also like, you become very aware of how little most people care about the NBA, one, and two, they're playing. Everyone, I'm calling bars, and I'm like, you guys gonna have the play-in on Amazon Prime? And people are like, what the fuck are you calling me, dude? Like, I don't know, probably, if you care about it. Anyway, we get the game on. People I was with were not especially locked in on the basketball, let's say. So I was keeping an eye on it, and I kind of watched the fourth quarter. And then I watched the highlights again afterwards. Big time wish it was the Magic. That was kind of where I had landed on at the end. They had clearly quit. I liked the matchup for Vooch in particular, to see him kind of get some rhythm. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters at all, especially without Embiid. And this is going to be their 9th playoff run, I think. I was listening to the Rice Ricky Sanchez pod, either their 8th or 9th playoff run. And if we knock them out this year, we'll have knocked them out in 50% of all of their process era playoff appearances, which is just
that's incredible.
Really funny. So we hate the Sixers, and at least we're winning all of these matchups.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the Magic. We talked about it last show. But Philly is not a great team. Even with Embiid on the court, they're, just over positive net rating. When Maxey's on the court without Embiid, I think he's about a -2, and that includes Maxey and Paul George are also about a -2. So they just straight up are not a very good basketball team. But I am a little bit worried, just because the downside of losing to them is so incredibly drastic that it's like the chance of us losing to them is like 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever. But it would be one of the worst experiences of my entire life if it happened. Whereas if we lose to the Magic, it's like, whatever. Tatum will be back full strength.
No. Losing in the first round to anyone would have been a disaster. But like losing to the Sixers over the Magic, you're right, would be a complete disaster. Chiefs shampoo. I feel like Embiid being there would help us. Lol. I understand that. Look, they would have not beating us regardless, unless something kind of catastrophic happens, which is always possible, which is why it is scary at the end of the day. But without Embiid, they're just dead in the water. Like I was watching the highlights. I was trying to kind of build a case for Philly, because Maxey's given us trouble this year. Like he's averaging 30 a game on 57% true shooting. So he's been awesome. 3 of those games happened in the first 12 games of the season, when this team just was not who they are. Obviously there was no Tatum, Paul George, and who played in these games is kind of all over the place as well. The most recent one was the Jordan Walsh locking up of Maxey down the stretch. But I went back and watched a lot of Adem, Boner, and Drummond, just because I was like, okay, I kind of like Boner. He's athletic. I'm trying to build this defensive case for them, because the reason why they have no chance really is the rebounding. They're 27th in the NBA in rebounding, which means if you're anywhere below 25 at anything, that's a real disaster, because that means you're below the tanking tankers. So they're as bad as rebounding as a true tanker. Now, part of that improves a little bit because Embiid's actually not there. So Drummond and Boner are better rebounders than Embiid. So I'm like, okay, that problem's not maybe quite as bad. That being said, they're tiny. Maxey, Edgecomb's a good rebounder for his size. Oubre, Paul George, Paul George is not a 4. But the rebounding, I think, is going to still be a huge problem. I couldn't really build a case, but you're going back and watching Adam Boner and Drummond playing defense against in their last 10 games. My big note was that the Celtics' offense is much harder to guard than the Magic, than the Wizards, the Bucks, the Pacers, all of their games that they played recently. The Pistons, they had a game. I'm like, the Celtics offense is just so much more difficult to guard.
Yeah, and why don't I give some of the high-level numbers for Philly? They're 17th in cleaning the glass offense. They're 17th in cleaning the glass defense. They way outperformed their expected win total by 3, which is basically Lakers territory. Against top 10 net rating teams, they have the 26th best offense and the 21st best defense. So the statistical profile is of a very traditional 7, 8, 9 seed. This is not Charlotte, where they completely turned it around in the second half and they're kind of a different team. This is a pretty mediocre basketball team, but I did the same thing. I was for some reason, I'm a little bit worried about this matchup. And I think it really just comes down to Maxey scaring me. But yeah, on Bona and Drummond, Bona, he is to me just great in 14 minutes. And but you need him to do anything more than that, and he's going to foul. He's just going to be out of position against starters way too often to be an effective defensive big. And he just kind of does not give you a ton offensively either. He's a worse version of Kata, essentially. So I like him, especially where they got him in the draft. I think it was a 2nd-round pick. He's a nice player. He can finish around the rim. He's active. He's athletic. But, 13.8 defensive rebound percentage. Not great. Drummond's at 26.4. So, I mean, that's why Drummond is kind of the guy for them, because he has his entire career, dominates the glass, and I guess shoots a little bit.
36% from 3.
I know. I suspect
2 massive ones in the play-in.
Dude, and the fucking ice 3 he hit to end the game basically was actually quite hilarious. That's the funniest way to lose ever. So I mean, they're gonna kind of split their minutes, but that is a massive weakness for this Philly team.
Yeah, you can't build a real case, I don't think, besides the Celtics shoot below 30% for the entire series and the Sixers shoot above 40% for the entire series. And even then, I don't think that guarantees a series win for the Sixers because of the rebounding problem. Yeah. And they've always sucked at rebounding. And if Drummond's going to be out there for 31 minutes, they pretty much have to play drop. And if you're playing drop against Jason Tatum and Derek White and Jaylen Brown, specifically Tatum.
Pritchard.
With Pritchard, if you're playing drop with Drummond as your backline defender, with like Edgecombe's pretty good point of attack, but you get Maxey into the actions. The Sixers give up a ton of threes. They give up a ton of threes, plain drop. They overhelp. It's like they overhelp on purpose, it looks like. And watching the Magic game, they're just turning down wide open threes. Paolo's just turning down wide open threes, driving into the lane, getting swatted, and then it's effectively a live ball turnover back the other way. I was like, even if you're missing the threes, you're still setting your defense. There's just so much going wrong with what the Magic were doing. Like,
yeah,
even the fact that like I'm like, okay, Jalen Suggs is running the pick and roll. I'm like, it's just he's that's not his game. He's fine, and like the roll man is Wendell Carter, who like doesn't really have any roll gravity and like can't hit a shot from three. It's just the Celtics were like one of the best offenses in the NBA. The Magic were not at all. Is that there's no real case for it. I saw someone in the chat just ask about Embiid's return. Just like quickly looked on Twitter before we hopped on, and Shams was like, basically, don't expect him to come back. He hasn't even begun like the ramp up rehab part of the process yet. And we kind of know, like, if Embiid comes back late in this series without the conditioning, for his own sake and like his own slander purposes, I would just not come back, because if they're down 2-1, 3-1, whatever it is, it's just not putting him in a position to succeed. I understand coming back if you want to come back, but I don't see how that sets you up to succeed.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's very little point. And like, I mean, I don't even know what you do with him, because on one hand, it's like, if he can play, it's like you might as well play him, because this guy's career might be over in a year or two. But the flip side is like, you might as well see if you can start gearing up for next season. So Drummond, rim protection is a problem for Andre.
Yeah,
all right.
I'd say so.
So average rim shooting less than 6 feet is 65.8%.
Oh boy.
When Andre Drummond defends a shot within 6 feet of the rim, opponents shoot 70%. They shoot better against Andre Drummond than the average defender. And that is not amongst centers. That is amongst everyone. He's a worse rim protector. Obviously, these numbers aren't perfect, but by this number, he is on par with like Peyton Pritchard as a rim protector. I'm not kidding. Like Bono's much better.
Yeah.
Opponents shoot like 8.5% worse with Bono, which is still not like incredible for a center. But like Kata's around 10% worse. Derek White's around 10% worse. So they have some serious issues defensively with those guys. And then you couple that with the fact that they're really small at the guard positions with Edgecombe and Maxey.
And
to your point, and Grimes, and to your point, like I just really don't know what you do if it's a Maxey Drummond pick and roll defensively, other than bring a third defender. And if you bring a third defender against the Celtics team, you're dead.
Yeah, you can't bring 2, let alone 3. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to play drop, we're going to see the Celtics offense that we know and love. Tatum's going to have 18 potential assists a game, like easily. And I was like, okay, well, maybe Bono can switch a little bit. He could switch a little bit, and they could go small with Barlow at the 5. But I'm like, okay, now you're really stretching the rebounding. And 2, if you're switching, in comes Maxey, and Jaylen Brown puts him in the torture chamber. In comes Edge. Like Edgecomb's a great defender for a rookie and great defender for his size. He can't guard Jaylen Brown. No one can guard Jaylen Brown. And so Grimes, Kelly Oubre, like they just shout out New York, all the banging and bonging you can probably hear through the microphone right now. I couldn't draw up a defensive game plan for the Sixers that makes sense. The other side of it, I could see them maybe doing a little bit better, just because Maxey is the type of guy that we struggle with. So I don't know if you want to flip to that side of the ball.
Sure.
I don't know if there's anything else to say about the Sixers defense, like unless you have anything.
No. I mean, like they just really, even I think the big problem with the Sixers too is they don't surround these guys with elite defenders either, right? Like Oubre's fine. This version of Paul George is fine. but it's not like, okay, yeah, we've got some weak spots, but we've got Kawhi next to them, so he can cover up some of the issues there. Like, that is not the case. Like, this has a chance to be a really horrific defensive effort from the Sixers that, like, to your point, like, they're probably just going to have to hope the Celtics miss a bunch of threes, which we've seen work, but yeah.
Well, so Paul George, we didn't even talk about, and it's funny the way that I watched the game, right? I'm like trying to basically time it. So anytime I think there's a shot going up, I'm like, that's where I'm looking at the TV. And I swear I must have caught all of Paul George makes, because when I checked the box score and he was 6 for 16, I was like, man,
what happened?
I swear. And a lot of them were tough makes. And so, like, I guess it's not horrific to put Paul George on Tatum or Jalen and Oubre on Oubre and like those are your two wing defenders to put on Jalen and Jason. But then, like, again, I go back to it. I'm like, man, Paolo and Franz are just not Tatum and Jalen. It's just,
yeah, man.
It's just not the same thing. Yeah. So maybe Paul George can, like, find something he can, maybe re-up his PED subscription for this series right before game 1 or game 2. But yeah, as soon as they go to their bench, I'm like, it's like they play Drummond, Grimes, and Barlow. So the only perimeter guy that they played off the bench was Grimes. So Maxey and Edgecombe were dead, especially Maxey, who's like been playing so many minutes this season.
Yeah.
So one, he's going to carry a ton of offensive load, which we're going to get to in a second. But two, I think you bring him into the actions and wear him down, because he's already toast. He's already playing 43 minutes a night. Like, just grind him into dust. There's only so much of a load that he can carry.
Yeah, and then, like, in the flip side is the Celtics go to their bench, and it's like, now it's all these like long, athletic young guys also just like smashing Maxey with picks and like going like, oh, you switched it. So Maxey's on Jordan Walsh going straight to the front of the rim for offensive rebounding purposes, So we just have a lot of options offensively. And I'm just not worried about the Celtics basically cooking this Sixers defense. So we'll switch to the other side of the ball. But before we do that, we are going to get the bills paid and jump to PrizePicks.
That's right. The playoff push is here and heating up, and tournament hoops are behind us now. But there's no better way to cash in if you're right on the high flying hoops action than PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pick app. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on PrizePicks. And with the brand new team picks markets, which finally you can now pick game winners, spreads, and totals on top of the player picks you already know. So cash in if you're right during all the clutch buckets, slam dunks, and Cinderellas this spring with team picks on PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and pick your first game winner, spread, or total as the playoff push rolls on, and get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly when daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. All right, Spooney. How do we go in our lineup? You're on mute.
Good start. Awesome start. Not bad. So, well, actually quite bad. Never mind. We hit 1 out of 3. Hawkes, the overtime screwed us with Hawkes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Got him up over 27 points, rebounds, assists. Khan was the big problem, though.
Yeah.
He had 18 more or less points, and he only had 6. But, nailed that Davion Mitchell pick. So
we did.
Okay. Hornets, Magic, Friday night. Kobe White, 13.5 points.
Yeah. 100%.
More.
Free. Yeah, not free, but I like it.
Yes, correct. Okay. What about Moussa Diabate, 4.5 points? He can't get 6 points on like offensive rebounds and like, they
outwork them.
Crap. Yeah.
And yeah, I like that. Okay. Dude, David Mitchell 24 shots.
Is that a career high? It honestly might be.
Has to be.
Or anyone you want to look at points, rebounds, assists wise.
LaMelo, the usage is out of control. So what's his line at? What's his number?
36.5 points, rebounds, assists.
So they did go to overtime, but he also had 45 in the Heat game. So he has the ball so much. So I'd be happy to go that direction.
Okay, I love it. So that gives us LaMelo 36.5 more points, rebounds, assists. Diabate 4.5 more points, and Kobe White 13.5 points more. So on $20, we can win 75. I'm going to put that in right now, and I can figure out. Oh, hold on. We've got a problem. We have to. You can't pick all the same teams, so I have to add a magic: points, rebounds, assists.
So go under.
Less.
I mean, less. I go less than on Paolo Banchero, points, rebounds, assists.
36. I like that less. I like that less a lot. Okay, so this brings us up to $20 to win 150. We're in PrizePicks. And one last little message from PrizePicks here. PrizePicks Predict is a registered FCM offering team picks and culture picks as event contracts. Trading involves significant risks, not for all. The content provided is for informational, educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. A recommendation to trade any commodity, interest, or an offer to open an account. CLNS is not registered with the CFTC or NFA. PrizePicks Predict does not endorse or guarantee any statements made by third-party promoters or influencers. Please consult with a qualified professional before making any trading decisions. All right. Other side of the ball, Jake. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, we talked about bringing Maxey into the action. I think that's it starts with that. Yeah. So I think they're going to go drop coverage to start. One question we didn't answer yet. Who's starting? Because Jordan Walsh was awesome against Maxey late in the season. Do you go Walsh, Hauser, or someone else?
I think we stick with Hauser.
To start.
And we just talked about why we're going to be very, very difficult for Philly to defend.
Exactly.
And so I think you just keep the pressure on that end, and like Hauser just make sure that you can't be helped off, because they're going to help off Walsh. Like, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to make him for a couple games probably make some shots. So I say keep the offense clicking, keep Hauser out there. And I don't know if I trust Hauser to switch on to Maxey. I don't trust him to switch on to Maxey, but I trust him against Edgecombe and basically anybody else on this team. So if you can kind of protect him in the Maxey matchup, maybe send help, or, hopefully pre-switch it if like Oubre's coming up to set the screen, then I think Hauser's probably our best option.
It's so funny when I think about the matchup. Like so much of this matchup to me is like, just don't be fucking idiots and win the series in 4 or 5. Which is why I keep thinking about defense, or like how they stop us, but or how we stop them. Because I'm like, if you play defense, like I just don't see how you lose this series. So we're talking about Celtics offense now, right? Is that what we're doing?
Defense. Celtics. We just talked about Celtics offense.
I was like, my brain totally broke for a moment. Yeah,
you're good.
Well, how do you see it? Let's let you go first.
Okay, so I think Hauser starting, keep the pressure on offensively, and then on the defensive side of the ball, I trust him in any matchup other than Maxey. I even trust him to switch on. Like, Drummond will get him on the boards, but Drummond's not going to really hurt you if you have to switch Hauser onto him. Same with Bona, and Hauser will box out and let other guys swoop in. So I think the interesting one is, who do you put on Maxey? I think is the answer Jaylen Brown. Yeah.
So I don't know if you caught any of the Part of My Take interview that Joe Mazzulla did, but he got asked just the clips. And so like he talked about how like Jaylen psychologically, when he like is just can be so intense, it can like change the tenor of the entire building. And it's like, I expect Jaylen to come in once we have like this day off, to come into the building and just have gone to a new level and just force everybody to lock into a whole nother degree. And they were just talking about how like he just turned himself into a mental and physical psychological weapon. And we know that the best use of Jaylen Brown defensively is point of attack.
Yep.
Just put him on Maxey. But at the end of the day, I think you can, it doesn't matter who you put on him, whether it's, even if it's Hauser, as we saw in like the Charlotte game. I would be kind of annoyed with Joe if we start with Hauser on Maxey. Seems a little bit silly,
insane.
but at the same time, whoever's on it, you just have to get over the dribble handoffs, get over the screens, and run them off the 3-point line and protect the rim, and force Maxey into a ton of floaters and a ton of mid-range shots. I don't care if Maxey gets 35, 40 points. If they all come inside the 3-point line and not at the rim, I just don't. And then you don't overhelp. I just do not believe that he can give you 35, 40 plus on 60+% true shooting while working him on the other end and making sure you're not overhelping and just making that usage stay high as you possibly can. That's the crux of my game plan.
Yeah, man. And you combine that with how much effort he's going to be putting in on the defensive side of the ball, and you're just making him constantly get in the lane, drive into bigger players, probably hit the ground a bunch of times. I think that's going to have a serious attrition effect on Maxey. So I totally agree with you, because once Maxey gets the pull-up 3 game going, that's when things get really dangerous, because he can definitely get hot. Only shot 37% from 3 this year, but he has the capability of going 7 for 13 in a game, right? And that is probably a game we might lose. So I'm with you. Lock and chase, man. Get over the screen, get over the dribble handoff, stay behind him, rear view contest, make sure he cannot pull up from 3, force him into the drop big, and then we will probably bring help from the strong side, because we've been doing that all season, where we just dig down, dig into the ball handler. So force him to make that decision. Does he kick it strong side? And then, okay, now it's your turn, Kelly Oubre, to make a play against this wild ass Celtics defense. Or is he, going to be patient, try to get into his floater game? That's a win. Or is he going to try and pop it over the top to Drummond or Bona? And I trust our weak side help to help with the roll man. And I trust Kata to just take up the appropriate spacing as a drop big to make sure the floater's not easy, and to make sure, it's not going to be a lob threat. So I'm completely with you. The move is let Maxey get his, and never let Paul George, Edgecombe, and Oubre get comfortable, and Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, I think it's been the game plan for basically the existence of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, is whether it's Giannis, whether it's Luka, whether it's Embiid, obviously whether it's building a wall or whatever, but you don't let the other guys go nuts. And I don't see how they can win otherwise. There's a good point from Rui in the chat. Shouldn't we save Jaylen Brown's legs, get the young dudes to chase Maxey? Look, Maxey's going to be playing 43 minutes tonight. So, once the bench comes in, whether it's Baylor, whether it's Walsh, because I do think Walsh is the best suited to do this job. And we've seen him do the best job out of anybody on Maxey. Oh, this is awesome. Well done from Spooney here.
He makes that shot. It's great defense.
Yeah. Let's tuck into. See, he could have go over that one, Walshy.
So these are all the shots Maxey took. Walsh is the primary defender.
Yeah, so we got Maxey. It's all those screens. See, that's great. If you can force him into those running floaters, like the previous 2 where he gets those pull-up 3s off, I don't love that. See, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a late shot clock there. But still.
Here we go. This is the beauty, I think.
Yeah, you're just uncomfortable.
Yep, that's exactly what we were talking about, right? Get over the top and just stay connected, stay behind him, make him uncomfortable. Yep. And if he's going to get into a pull-up, it needs to be with you in front of him. Even if you give him a little bit of space, he needs to be shooting over high hands. And yeah, I thought Walsh did a really, really good job of, even when he was behind him, he made him feel him. And that's look, he's going to make some of those shots, and that's okay. Because he's going to give it up on the other end.
Yeah, it's in isolation. Maxey's not really an ISO guy. It all comes off the screens and the handoff game. So if you've just got to not get stuck on those screens. It's as simple as that. So I trust Walsh. I do trust Derek, and I do trust Jaylen. He's not the slithery screen navigator, but he's also just really good at using his physicality, just blowing up the screen, kind of Drew Holiday style. Yeah. It's go ahead.
I was going to say, how many minutes do you expect Walsh to play? Because even if he doesn't start, I'm with you. I think it makes sense to give him a significant role to save JB and save we should be talking about saving Derek White's legs too, man. Yeah. He played a ton of minutes as well this season.
20 feels like on the high end. I guess it just depends. Like, are they leaving him wide open, and is he able to punish them? I would like him to not just shoot them, so take advantage of the runway and get downhill and try and finish at the rim. But it's a good point. But I don't know, like how much can you shoehorn in Jordan Walsh when you want to play the four guys? Obviously, Derek, Jalen, Jason, and Cater. You want to see a ton of Pritchard. You want to see a bunch of Baylor at this point. Like, he's just become so reliable. So how much Walsh are you able to get into this rotation? 20 minutes feels pretty solid. And like, if you're just injecting 10 minutes of Walsh into each half while he just makes Maxey's life 20% more difficult for those minutes, that's going to come home in the fourth quarter.
That's what I was going to say, like 2 7-minute stints where like, or, even 15 minutes, like that's a lot to be annoying on Maxey. Take Tatum out early, bring in Walsh, immediately put Walsh on Maxey and just hound him. Even if you hound him full court for a few possessions, just to be he might burn you, but like just try and make him as uncomfortable as he possibly can be. So yeah, I'm right in there. I think it's like between 15 and 20, somewhat depending on game flow. Nicholas says, how much will Vooch play this series? That's a very good question.
This is a big one. This is the big one because like you want to take care of business. Yep. Like if I know it's a house money season. We've been trying to keep that perspective to a degree, but your Eastern Conference favorites, you want to make the finals and you want to win the title. If you want to do those things, you have to take care of business in the early rounds because the NBA season and the NBA playoffs is a war of attrition. And as soon as you start adding a sixth game to a series where it's just like a little bit extra, you got to go all the way back to Philly to close it out or something like that. Like if this series goes anything past 5, it's going to be putting extra miles on a team that on anyone that you just don't want to do. Like the Thunder were able to do it last season by going to 7 with the Thunder, going to 7 with the Pacers. But they swept the Grizzlies in round 1. And who'd they play in the conference finals? It's in my mind.
Timberwolves.
Oh yeah, and they killed them in 5.
Yeah. So
you have 2 series that go 4 and 5, and then 2 7-game series. You can handle that. But like they should have dropped at least one to the Grizzlies where Lou Dort broke Ja Morant's back, and the Timberwolves never really had a chance from memory. It's a horrendous matchup for them. You have to take care of business. And so when it comes back to the Vooch thing, Gaza's been better, I think, objectively since Vooch has arrived. However, you do want to have the Vooch button to press. And how long do you give Vooch the chance to prove that he is a pressable button?
Is he a functioning light switch or is he broken? Yeah, I think it's a really, really tough question. Part of me thinks this will be a series we win on offense. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, well, man, but Garza's been really good off. I mean, they're so similar that it's like, I think Philly will probably try to be quite aggressive defensively and force turnovers because I don't really think they cannot just guard us straight up. That's not going to happen. They're just going to get cooked. So I think what they'll end up having to do is play like Nick Nurse Raptors style defense where he has like trapping and like people are over rotating and like all of a sudden there's a third defender. And I think Vooch is tailor-made to destroy that type of defense with the passing and the shooting and his ability to kind of put it on the floor a little bit. And I trust Vooch more as a post-up guy. Like if it's Maxey on Vooch or Garza, I trust Vooch to score. But Garza's so dominant on the offensive glass. It's like if it's Maxey on him, just shoot it. And if you miss, he will clean it up. So it's a tough question. I trust neither of them defensively, especially when Maxey's on the court, but I trust Vooch a little more rebounding wise, defensive rebounding wise. And I think like, do you just press the rebounding advantage even more?
Yeah. Yeah. That was what I was thinking with Vooch. Like it's kind of, it feels as if it's the floor play because of the rebounding.
Yeah.
And it controls the margins a little bit, but at the same time, I hate how I like that he can post up. He looks for it a little bit too often, and they try and force it in there too often. And one of the ways you start to reduce your margins is with the turnovers in that exact way. Like if it was a go like a do or die game, like game 7, I'm going Gaza. Like it's not really a
Me too.
question to me, but I think you probably still start with Vooch because you want to try and get him a rhythm going into the deeper playoffs. But like Blammo in the chat here, defensive rebounding and passing versus hustle, offensive rebounding, shooting and finishing. Yeah, like when Gaza gets the ball around the basket, like the D-cells, the pump fakes, it's really impressive. And then the offensive rebounding and the shooting has been outrageous all season long, and none more impressive than the dagger in game 82 against the Magic. Just an absurd shot.
Craziness.
So yeah, like if I'm trying to win game 1, I'm going with Gaza. But if we're trying to have a bigger picture in mind against a team where we have, in theory, quite a lot of margin, I'd probably still go with Vooch. All I ask for is if it goes badly to like just be willing to pull the plug in a stint. Doesn't mean he can't play in the second half, but like just pull the lever. And it's a delicate balance because Joe didn't pull the plug on Vooch against the Knicks, and he was fantastic in the second half of that game.
Yeah. You can't win. You really can't. I mean, it's impossible. It's a credit to Joe that he's basically made that decision correctly, like at every game in 82 games this year. The one upside on Garza too is like he is just a mean, nasty screen setter. And if part of what we want to do is wear Maxey and to a lesser extent edge come down, like Garza will wear your ass out, setting screens, boxing you out, just kind of like bumping into people. Yeah. Vooch is much more of a finesse big, and that has its advantages in some ways. So like you get the rebounding advantage, press that even more with Vooch, but the sort of physical advantage is totally Garza. I mean, he's a monster, dude. So
yeah.
I think to your point is like you have to see what it looks like with Vooch. You have to at least give him a shot because the ceiling, if he's making threes and killing it in the short roll and like driving closeouts, like it's 3 years ago Al Horford, and we know what happens when we have that version of offensively, not defensively.
No, but I mean, even then, Horford hit 1 billion threes last night. I couldn't believe it. But then at the same time, I just love the idea of Gaza, Pritchard, Baylor, and the way that they just like play catch, rescreen, and Maxey's just like fighting through these Gaza screen, chasing Pritchard and Baylor around. And then Gaza's mashing on the offensive glass and just so active. That version of the Celtics is the version I would want to see. But as we've just been saying, like you do, I think, want to give because you can have your cake and eat it too. I think by giving Vooch a shot as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we're in control of these games, right? Like, Keita does not need to play 32 minutes. I mean, you could presumably find both of these guys like 10 minutes. I don't know if that's enough to really get a look at Vooch. Maybe not. But
Vooch, Gaza, double bigs, maybe.
We better really be in control of the game, like 40 points in control of that game. But like we should, functionally be looking at preserving Keita too. Like that dude played like 600 minutes in his total career coming into this season. And now I don't know what he's at, but he's got to be close to 2000. So, if to the extent we can use all three bigs, that's kind of ideal too, to save Keita for some of the later rounds.
1926.
Yeah, so, that's a shitload, man. I guarantee that's more than he played in his entire career combined before.
Oh, yes, easily. Yeah. Oh, not even close. Wow, he was so much. I was gonna say so much awesome. He was so much awesome this year, which is a fact.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Stone cold fact.
I can't wait to see so much awesome from the Celtics this playoffs. I'm like, how do you feel that the playoffs are starting?
I know, man. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but also I'm totally ready for it. If that makes any sense at all.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I can't help but I have expectations now. Oh, unfortunately, nice. I know. I wish I didn't, but it really feels like, it feels like this team should make the conference finals. And like beyond that, I'm okay, like whatever. But this
Lie.
series,
If they make the conference finals, they have to make the finals.
exactly. And if they make the finals and it's
have to
not
win.
Denver, yeah, you got to win, right? So I'm really, really worried about the Knicks series. This series I think will be quite fun, and I think we will
I'm
smoke
sure.
Philly. But I'm pretty nervous about it, honestly, man, because like they will have eliminated us in 3 straight. Like the last 3 times we've matched up against the Knicks in the playoffs, we will have lost to them, and that is painful.
I think that's how everyone feels. Like odd one in the chat. I can live with a lot of outcomes. Just don't lose to the Knicks again. It's so annoying that the Cavs just fucking shat their pants all season long and couldn't jump the Knicks into the 3 seed. Because like, I'm with you. I can live with losing to the Pistons. I can live with losing to the Cavs. I can't do another lose to the Knicks.
I know, man.
And the odds, like if we get that series and the Celtics and Knicks do advance to the second round, the odds really say right now that the Celtics are going to be as heavily favored as they were in the Dallas series. And I just don't feel the same way. But we're definitely going to get to that. I'm excited, but I think once 2023 happened, like I was always so excited for the playoffs. Once that happened, I went from like being excited to like excited, but I'm terrified because all the good vibes. The Celtics just deliver us apparently 56 to 64 wins every year now. That's just kind of what they do. The regular season as a Celtics fan is incredibly fun and carefree. We just win 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 of all of our games. We have awesome players, we have awesome guys. It's incredibly, as I said, like it's the best TV show going in the fucking world. And then it gets serious and scary, and you don't get the chance to watch those guys play basketball anymore, and everybody gets sad. It's just, but this is why we play the game. And Joe Mazzulla, I can hear him in my fucking head right now, being like, "You little bitch."
Yeah, this is what we want. Yeah, you should want to be uncomfortable. Yeah,
bitch. It's funny, and I know if it was flipped, and I think this just has to do with having no control as a fan for me. Like as a player, like in my Division 3 rec league, you know. I'm not fucking scared of anybody. I'm like, we'll just go out and we'll try and fucking play hard and win. And like, I'm not, you don't think about it this way. But as a fan, at least for me now, my fan brain got broken by 21-22 against the Warriors, and then going down 0-3 against the fucking Heat, and then losing to the Knicks, where I was like supremely confident going into that series. Obviously, in hindsight, there was a ton of reasons for why it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. But fuck, man, playoffs. It's an emotionally intense experience.
Yeah, dude, it really is. Last year, like it felt like if we made the conference finals, I would have been fine with losing because it's like, hey, we just won the finals. We got to the conference finals. Like you can't win every year. You know, there hasn't been a repeat champion in like 8 years, like whatever. But losing to the Knicks, especially like how we lost, we should have been up 2-0 in that series. And it was like the ghosts of Celtics past, like every bad habit that the Jays had. And like Porzingis averaged like 4, 3, and 1 in that series.
Generous.
Like it was slow motion car crash, dude. It was so painful. That one hurts still. Like, I'm over the loss, but like it definitely has dampened some of like, it's more, never. But it has made me much more anxious about the playoffs this year than like pure bliss. And I expected pure bliss coming into the season. Like if you told me in October would have won 56 games and Jason Tatum's back and he just averaged 22, 10, and 5, I would have been like, hell yeah, this is gravy. That is not how I feel anymore.
It was so awesome though. What a season.
It's a great season.
What a fucking season.
With the IT year, man.
Yeah, like truly. I do think that like when you added the Tatum return element to it, I think for me this season, oh man, I loved that IT year so much.
So good, dude.
So
that
good.
season was so fun. I was in the building for his 52 against Miami. Around Christmas. And like I just turning to children and be like, cherish this moment. Drunk as hell. Like that was incredible. That was the best game I've ever watched live. Like it was amazing.
Like I had the Tatum rookie season as like the second most fun season of kind of this like 2016 to now era. This season overtook that season, and I think when you add in the Tatum return going so well, and them being like, because the IT year, even then, like they weren't title contenders.
Yeah, we knew.
But that's what made it extra fun, I think.
Yeah.
You never you don't build these like ideas of beating fucking LeBron James in the finals, in the conference finals, or the fucking Golden State Warriors. Like you don't have a chance. Whereas you have a real chance to win a title and make the finals. So two things can definitely be true in like the future of this era is in a completely different place to just what you talked about. Blowing 2 20-point leads and then following that up with Jason Tatum tearing his fucking Achilles.
Yeah.
Like one of the worst weeks of like you can experience as a sporting fan. That week was horrendous in every way, shape, or form. To go from that moment to now is just incomprehensible that we made this type of turnaround. So I think trying to hold on to that reality is the most important thing for me personally.
No, it's a great point. It's incredible perspective. And not only that, not just horrible like week or 2 weeks, like then you couple it with the complete tear down over the summer where KP's gone, who I liked KP, but people were really emotionally invested in KP. Like I just saw a post on Celtics Reddit that was like, I miss these guys. And it was Al and KP. And I'm like, I miss Al.
I miss this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Al's gone, KP, Luke Cornett, Drew. I mean, those were 4 dudes that were huge parts of like the Celtics for 2 years. And they're cutting salary. Hell, like Simons comes in and he was kind of awesome, for some time there. So no, it's really, really good perspective. No one expected this team to be where they're at. Zach Lowe, Vicini, like everyone has said, like, I have never been so wrong as I was wrong about this Celtics team. And I think you and I could probably say the same thing. That and Baylor Shireman are our two worst.
And Kada.
And yeah, Kada. So I mean, this season, for all intents and purposes, is gravy. They should not be here. They should not be the favorites in the East. Now I just need to convince the lizard brain, lizard portion of my brain that,
Yeah. It's like but they are. And we'll get into the Knicks series, but it's like, I really think on paper with both Jays healthy that they should win the series.
Yep.
But that's just not how it goes. It's funny. Maybe we could wrap on this, but like my sister very casually follows the NBA, but like she's like, the Thunder are just going to win this year, right? And the Celtics will probably like make the finals. And I'm like, if only it were this simple, like if you just casually follow the whole season, you're like, oh yeah, the Thunder have been number one all year long. They've got to go through maybe like just in this gauntlet of San Antonio, and like it's going to be a mission. Or it's like, oh well, the Celtics should make the finals. I'm like, yeah, they're the favorites. They got to go through the Knicks and the Pistons. It's just like, if I've learned anything from the past, the Jays era in particular, because the Paul Pierce thing almost gave you the opposite. It's like, put these guys on a team, win all the games, win the title. Bada bing, bada boom. The Jays era just showed me how fucking hard it is to win in the NBA deep into the playoffs. So I just don't take it for granted. And I'm ready for battle, but I'm a bit scared.
Yeah, man. I will say that I'm basically 10 years older than you. So like the age you were at in 2008 was me during Pierce and Twan.
Sure.
And those were very IT era coded in that it's like nobody expected shit. And then we made the conference finals and got beat up by the Nets, but it was super fun. And then the team sucked. Right. So it's like difficult. So this all in essence feels like gravy. And I try to remember, like, I thought Bassie Telfair was the guy at a time. Right. And now to be able to just like the Jays being in the conference finals, they got way more conference finals than Chris Paul ever had in his entire career, right? Like, it's not a failure if they lose to the Knicks. It's really like, it's
not in this season. No, it's
not exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I try to keep that perspective, but it's really difficult. I'm just rambling.
Yeah,
but
that's what we're doing.
yeah.
I'm enjoying this part of the podcast.
But you're right,
yeah.
man. Like, we've got a lot of playoff scars. Like, thank God they won in 24,
Yeah.
man. Thank
Fuck.
God. Yeah.
And then I say all of this, but like, can you imagine one more Jays ring? It doesn't have to be this year, but like, if these guys get one more, and like that didn't feel that achievable a year and a month ago.
Yeah, whatever, like 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, they're gonna have real chances this year and into the next half decade to really get another one. And like, there was a stat that I saw on Twitter. Apologies for forgetting who posted it, but it was like average playoff wins for their career. Magic Johnson number 1, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum number 2. And obviously that's still young, but like that's insane. Ahead of Duncan, what are we even talking about?
Yeah, man.
I just don't even comprehend the stat. I think it shouldn't be real.
Like, I mean, when you put it that way, like, they do not get nearly the respect they should as like potential all-time guys. Like, and I know Jalen's probably never going to be, if he doesn't get first team all NBA this year, it's probably never going to happen. But being one of the 15 best guys we're going on like of Jalen being nearly this good. What? 8 years, man. And like, he's better this year than he has been. Like, we really have a chance to have both the Jays for like 14 years straight. And I saw that stat too. I think it was like 9.8 wins a year in the playoffs. That's absurd. Your average outcome is getting deep into the conference finals. That shit ain't normal. That is not normal, dude. Chris Paul had 2 conference finals in his career. 2.
Crazy. Yeah. All like we have the most wins in the NBA basically since they've arrived.
Yeah. Yep.
So all objective indicators are this incredibly successful era, and the era is in a really, really healthy place. It's basically as healthy. Like, if you were ranking futures right now for the next half decade, it's like San Antonio, OKC, and we're probably the next one. I only like the Nuggets, maybe because Jokic exists. But like, I'm still taking the Celtics over the Pistons, over the Knicks, like
Spurs.
Well, Spurs and OKC are the only two that I would have ahead.
Sorry, got it. Yeah.
Those are the only two that I think you can have ahead, and we're in the East, so it's like we're first in the East. Yeah, man.
Charlotte.
Hey, bright lights for Con. I don't know.
Yeah, they were way too bright.
Those play-in lights, dude.
Yeah, man. Holy shit, that was ugly.
Yeah.
Real quick, what do you expect from Tatum in the playoffs, or like in the first round? At least we'll stick with Philly.
I'm really at like 85, 90%. The only thing I'm really not expecting is the 43 minute, and like the defense that he played in game 4 of the Knicks series, where he can guard every position and he can have 5 stocks in a game and just destroy, like, it could be a complete like Kawhi level wrecking ball on defense. That's the element I'm not expecting. Offensively, I'm expecting pretty much him by the time we get to the second round, especially.
Yeah, him, but in 32 minutes instead of 40, basically, right? So the counting stats might be a little depressed.
Well, no, I mean 30, not 32. Like he's playing
36.
He played 40 in his like last couple of games.
True. He was clearly ramped. They ramped him up.
Perfectly.
It was so perfectly done. Yeah, they really
great work, everybody.
Yeah. Applause, man. This organization's good at this shit, man.
Really fucking good.
All right, we should probably wrap. I'm like basically where you're at with Tatum. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he's guarding the big, especially if it's like Bona or something like that too, just to make so he doesn't have to like chase guys around. I expect very, very good version of Jason Tatum. So look, quick prediction, Jake, what do you got? And then we'll leave.
I know I'm gonna say all of that, and I think it's gonna be a sweep.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to Bill Simmons it. The Maxey 45-point game. Like, he'll have one. He'll do the one.
There's one 45-point Maxey game.
There's
Kelly,
a 32 free throw game.
There's going to be Kelly Oubre. He goes 8 for 12 from 3. All of a sudden, you're down 3-1.
That's trill bro dude level,
Yeah.
Bill Simmons, Jake. You got that shit down.
It's so, we haven't talked about this, but the Bill Simmons playoff math is one of my favorite things. I know that they've talked about it. It's like all they got to do is go 4-3. House. Like,
My favorite is the Lakers. Like, there's going to be the 40 free throw game. House. They're going to have one game, 43 throws. And then it's like Luka's going to have his 45. Like,
I love him. He's the fucking goat. I love him so much.
He is the podfather. All right. Yeah, I'm going 5. So I'll take 5. I think if I didn't pick 5, I'd take 4. So I'm right there with you.
4, 5, 6, 7 would be mine.
Yeah. And then the Philly and 7 is next, which God,
7,
please do not happen. We'll start how we ended. God, we cannot lose to Philly.
Just
for the
fucking
love of God.
Come out in game 1 and strangle the shit out of them. And then I'm going to be there for game 2 and you better fucking win.
Yeah. Break their will. Hell yeah.
They're undefeated when I see them live. So that's for 4-0 in the Jake era.
You hear that? Join the Patreon. We're still doing Patreon content. We'll be doing some through the playoffs and fun Jake to go to every single playoff game until we win the championship. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We are out. Peace.